Okay. Let me see. Got you. Okay. Mm. You do this? Okay. Let's see. Um. What's the last one? So. Okay. Yeah. Okay, welcome another day, another time. This is I think 8:30 EST, and I just needed to do this quick, stream. You could call it a podcast or whatever. Just before the day really kicks off here. And it's also been interesting, the news that has been kind of trending over the weekend, and the whole thing that is culminating between a face-off between Nigeria and the United States of America. And immediately I saw the news, I said, wow, this is crazy. Now, ideally, I should be having this stream run on both of Five Vertical. That's for those on the shots, and also for those on the mainstream, which is the long form. But unfortunately, I don't know what's wrong with YouTube. It's been a little. Thanks for that. I'm online. And it's just an opportunity for me to have those even on the short go through, and then also on the long. Now, the real reason why I just wanted to do this is just because it's always been an hot topic in Nigeria, as it were. And it's always been the concern that we've always had. The concern that we've always had is that this was going to escalate. And if you look at one of my videos, one of the things that I did, it was just as a result, one of the streams that I actually made, it was as a result of this concern that I did warn the president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that if you don't put your house in order, you're going to open yourself for major, major escalation. Now, there's been a lot of school of thought with respect to what has happened. There's been a lot of talk about, um, there's been a lot of talk about, what this is just more of a way to intimidate, the country Nigeria, or this is just a plan for the United States of America to come in and, swoop in and then get all of the resources of the country. And it's quite, plausible. I'm not going to dispute that. It's quite plausible that you could have, that happen. But the real reason and the real genesis of this is because there's been a level of neglect by the government of the day. So I'm going to go through the updates. I'm going to go through what has been happening since Trump came in to designate Nigeria as a country of a particular concern. Again, I don't like the wording of some of the tweets that he actually made. And again, Trump is someone that doesn't have filters. But when you don't safeguard the interests of your people, when you don't actually hold dear the lives of individuals in your country, then you open yourself to external interference. And that's the real thing. And one of the things I also said was this, that there could be an interest in ensuring that Nigeria remains kneecapped. There could be an interest that Nigeria don't actually make it. But the truth is this: if you know what you're doing, if you're concerned about your country, and if you are actually competent in delivering to the people good security, good economic reforms, and good leadership, then you protect yourself from whatever attack. That doesn't mean the attack won't come. That doesn't mean people won't come in to wade into the internal affairs of the country. It just means that you're better ready and you have what your base well prepared. Should there be an attack, should there be something, that is really, really going to come in that you're ready to tackle. And that's been the whole thing. So this is the summary of what happened. So Trump designated Nigeria a country of particular concern for religious freedom violation, stating Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islams are responsible for this mass slaughter. It cites no specific data but echoes far-right U.S. narrative amplified by Senator Ted Cruz and Nicki Minaj and Bill Maher. Okay, yeah, fine. You could say that there is no actual data, but we should not also be unaware that there has been an heightened level of insecurity in northern Nigeria. There's been a lot of people that has been taken hostages. I mean, we all know about the Chibok girls. Whatever happened to that? Some of them were released till tomorrow. A lot of them are still either in captivity or they're dead. So you could always say, "Oh, fine. Actually, you're just trying to, bundle out some propaganda and try to, coming into the country, Nigeria." But that's not the real issue here. Now, November 1, Trump threatened to cut all U.S. aid. That was what happened just recently, and ordered Pentagon to plan for military action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, sweet, gun blazing. Now, this is the response of the Nigerian president. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Nigeria stands firm as a democracy governed by constitutional guarantees of religious liberty. That's what is in the books. What is really happening tells a different story. Since 2023, administration had maintained an open and active engagement with Christians and Muslims, leaders alike, and continues to address security challenges which affect citizens across faith and region. The characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality, nor does it take into consideration the consistent and sincere effort of the government to safeguard the freedom of religion and belief for all Nigerians. Religious freedom and tolerance have been a core tenet of our collective identity and always remain so. Nigeria opposes religious persecution and does not encourage it. Okay, you could tell that to those that still lost their life recently in the Benue massacre. You can tell that to those that lost their lives that lose their lives daily in Plateau State, in southern Kaduna, and all these other places in this country. Nigeria is a country with constitutional guarantees to protect citizens of all faith, but I don't see that happening in some side of the country. And this is the question, this is what, becomes a major issue, that the reality of the ruling elites is different from what is being faced on the ground. And then you've seen these overdrive, you've seen these, talk, you've seen these damage control image that, the country is trying to do. And I did warn that this was going to happen. And not just in the north alone, in the northern Nigeria alone. What about the southern part of the country? Southeast has become ungovernable. I still can't fathom or reason the reason why someone in a faraway country would declare that people in certain region cannot go to work on a Monday. And which is fine, you can decide not to go to work. But then the problem is that if you try to defy that order, you're met with severe punishment. And it could be as extreme as you giving up, being killed. And what I don't understand was how the whole country was able to move along with that. And people would even joke about it on social media, and there was no real condemnation by those at the helms of affairs. And that's a big problem. Our administration is committed to working with the United States government and the international community to deepen understanding and cooperation on the protection of communities of all faiths. Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Alan is going to see the Vice President of the United States of America today. Mr. President, this is not a serious comment. Okay, so again, it's been a lot of fights back and forth, people for and people against. So we have those that are the Pan-African who believe that whatever it is that the United States wants to do is doing it just because it's interested in our resources. That's a school of thought. There's another school of thought that believes that, the United States is justified in its approach. Because you can't keep killing Christians and expect that nothing would happen. So again, I don't know which school of thought you are or which school of thought you belong to. The truth about this thing is this. The moment this thing becomes perennial, that is, it's been happening year in, year out, certainly it's going to lead to this kind of effect. And the last time I checked, you know what? They're already inching closer to the southwest. I made a story. I did a story about what happened in Kwara State where people had to move. So there's the interplay of the banditry. There's the religious extremists. There's also the financial incentive. Because how come those places where we have these hotspots of violence, you also have natural resources that is really, there, enriched. You have the land covered with great natural resources. And that's the thing. And one of the things that I also want to talk about is this, that the more you end up not tackling the issues of the day, you're going to open yourself up to much more interference. Till tomorrow, we don't know who's sponsoring that. There are indications that are people within the rank of the military, there are people within the rank, of politics that are supporting all of these atrocities that has been happening. And that's really crazy. It's just the ridicule for me. Because when you don't cover your base, like I'm one of the people that have supported the reforms that this guy did in Kaduna, El-Rufai. But the moment it became clear that it was also a little bit, somewhat, not putting his foot on the ground and allowed Southern Kaduna crisis to continue at an unabated level, I felt like, no, you don't own the right to even be in national politics. Not to talk of the rhetorics that comes from El-Rufai. Have you forgotten that after the last election, he actually went to a gathering? I don't know if it was a mosque. He went to a gathering of people of the Islamic faith and started telling them that, you know what, these people thought that they could fight with us on the Muslim ticket. They've learned their lessons now. They've learned their lessons that they will never try to fight with the North and also with the Muslim ticket in the future. Now, this was somebody that was coming from a state that is riddled with what? Religious crisis. So again, we can always try to say, oh, they just want to come for the resources. Well, the families that have been killed, the villages that have been burnt, they're going to have a different opinion. That at least for now, somebody is actually listening to us. Now, somebody's actually acting. And you know what? It's not the president of Nigeria. It's the president of the United States of America. We've cried, we've prayed, we've cried, we've lost blood, we've lost tears, we've lost sleepless nights on this issue. I've never had one of the biggest, GOs being intent on this issue. I've never had the mega churches being so much particular on this issue. They talk about it, they pray about it, no doubt. They rally around about it, possibly they even lobby about it. But now for the villagers, for the people that have been forgotten in the northern part of this country, they can now see that at least somebody is looking at the issue. Do I want the United States to come in and wading into the country and start bombing everywhere? No. Do I want Trump to send his troops to Nigeria? No. But again, there's been issues where there were killings in Benue State, and there was a plane crash that happened in another country, and TINUBU sent a tweet about the plane crash and didn't even bother to go visit until when people started shouting and crying, and then he took a trip and couldn't even get to the scene because the road was not roadworthy. Because the road wasn't roadworthy. And this is what we face. That the average life in Nigeria doesn't even value much to these politicians. So now you're running up and down. You're trying to move the needle because of why you've been called out. You've been called out. And again, if you will come, this is TINUBU here bragging about he doesn't care what Trump will do, which is right. If you have if you have everything well sorted, you don't really need to care. But if you don't care what Trump will do, better be sure that all of the loopholes have been covered.
And if non-oil revenue is going well, then we have no fear of whatever Trump is doing on the other side. And I've just signed off on a huge mechanization, program that every region we have a mechanized center for agricultural mechanization and have trainees and all of that. That is our path to food sovereignty, food security. You remove hunger from poverty, you have defeated poverty.
I'll keep saying it. I still don't know why you're going to have a military man standing behind this guy at every major release. We're a democracy. We're not under military dictatorship. This practice should be discontinued. But that being said, if you're actually sincere about food security, what about life security? In fact, most of the people producing these foods also, they are being attacked by the Fulani terrorists, especially the terrorist adders. So it's just quite unfortunate that we've allowed these to freestyle. Now, over the weekend there was also Pastor Kumi had to come out to talk that he was there was a report that says that he was trying to wade into the current affairs. So this is an official statement from Pastor Kumi. The Deeper Life Ministry condemn in the strongest term the malicious and entire false news report circulated by a faceless platform which goes by the name eBomb Focus. The story, which headlined that America is trying to steal our land resources and that there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria, says Pastor Kumuyi, that is a total fabrication and figment of imagination of its author. Pastor Kumuyi did not at any time address a press conference or make the aforementioned statement in Lagos. He's been away from Nigeria for a considerable length of time. I didn't even know that. Holding programs in the Oceania region and the Far East. Besides, Pastor Kumi is well known for focusing entirely on preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. It does not dabble into politics, as the false story mentioned above seems to suggest. The ministry warns all those bent on mischief by seeking to drag our general superintendent into politics or fabricating stories in his name to desist from such venture. In the future, any such activity may attract action. Okay, so that's it. That's from Pastor Kumuyi. But again, people have been killed. Somebody needs to talk. Okay, now look at this. This was the tweet. If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killings of Christians, okay, if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killings of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aids and assistance. There's also a theory that the aid at times also gets its way to the bandits and to the terrorists. So can USA explain to us really what's happening there? I may very well go into that now disgraced country, gone a-blazing. What does that mean? To completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing those horrible acts. I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thug attacked our cherished Christians. One in the Nigerian government better move fast. You have to move fast for you to, stop all this. But again, I've spoken about the craziness, in our politics. And also talk about the economic opportunity for the United States here. Because you have to look at it both ways. You have to look at it that the government of Nigeria, they've dropped the ball over and over and over and over again. They've not been able to secure properties and lives, especially in those southern part of the country, the northern part of the country. But also, why is it now? How come this whole thing has gotten so much traction? And there's a balance to that too. What's happening? Because overnight, everybody now starts screaming Nigeria. What's the real reason behind that? What's the real reason behind the whole thing that has ratcheted up the rhetorics? How come there's been no major effort between both parties. Could it be? Could it be that Nigeria is about to break loose from the dominance of its importing of petroleum from a foreign country? Could it be this tweet? Let me see if I can get it for you. Could it be this tweet about from this tweet that I saw from Dangote? Not really Dangote tweeting it, but someone Dangote talking about US dollars. Because this is one thing that US holds for the whole world. And there's been this talk. Let me see. Now, this is it.
One of the things that people didn't really notice or realize is that without this refinery, you would have ended up buying dollar at a ridiculous rate, not at 1,470.
Let me see if I can increase
it's 1,455 today. So it is a major gain. You wouldn't have seen the dollar rate, dropping, and also seeing our foreign reserves going up. And I can assure you, within the next 1 or 2 months, with the new policy of the government supporting the downstream, you see the dollar rate will actually improve a lot. I mean, if I have dollars today, I'd rather sell than to.
If you have dollar today, you would rather sell. Says one of the major, this guy is one, Dangote is one Africa. Dangote's vision for Africa is liberalization. And how has he been able to do it? You could talk about, the fair monopolistic advantage that he has. I'm not going to debate that with you today. I have my own thought about that. I, for one, don't support that. But again, he's been able to harness some of those resources to be a major global giant. And one of the things that the United States of America fears so much is the dollar losing its power across board. Remember one of the tweets that Trump made about the BRICS? That was the Brazil, Russia, and all those other countries. India, China, and South Africa, I believe. They were trying to say we're going to topple the dollar to be the dominant power because the dollar has been used as a force for sanction for various stuff. And immediately Trump came in, he said, you know what? If you don't stop this BRIC story, we're going to come in and actually destroy your country. In a way, that was what he was trying to insinuate. So could it be that right now Dangote is giving these people sleepless night when it comes to petroleum products and importing of petroleum? Now Dangote is actually exporting, making Nigeria a significant player in the global economy. Right now, I think Dangote is number 3. Now, with this new expansion, Dangote is going to be number 1. The United States don't like competition. That's where we are right now. So I'm going to tell TINUBU, you know what? You've got to get your acts together with respect to the security, because that would be a very, very vulnerable part of the whole polity that might actually open up yourself to so much trouble if you don't get your acts together. Now, I'm waiting to see what the new service chiefs do. Let's see what they do with respect to this. But we don't have time. Right now, 2027 seems to be like kind of, sealed for TINUBU, but we only know what happens tomorrow. So it's telling you sell your dollars. Is going to come into the market. So the ExxonMobil, all these companies that are into importing of oil and gas, petroleum products, and other finished petroleum products, they're screaming right now. They've been trying to sabotage this guy from day one. Fast forward, we have the Pengerson issue that happened. So when you look at all of those, it's clear. It's clear that there's a lot that is happening behind the scene. And it's quite crazy.
Wait till next 1 month or so.
They say don't wait till next 1 month, just sell your dollars. Could that be the reason? Could that be the reason? I'm just saying, I'm asking questions here. And again, once that happens, and once Naira becomes very, very strong, you know what happens to your stock exchange? It's going to move up. Now, this is not a financial advice for anyone trying to invest. I'm just saying. And that's the reality. And that's what's happening. That's what is happening. Why are we threatening war with Nigeria? Here's why. Nigeria is the single largest recipient of the Chinese construction financing. In the first half of 2025, with 21 billion in construction deals, making focal point for China Belt and Road Initiative. In addition, in late October 2025, Nigeria and China signed a major 3.5 billion investment partnership. This agreement focuses on boosting Nigerian infrastructure, energy, and manufacturing sector, including the construction of a new solar power plant, modernization of rail lines, connecting major cities, and expansion of industrial park. The partnership is seen as a transformative move for Nigerian economic strategy. But if the country is in ruins because of war in the name of saving Christians, China can't expand their belt and road. That's the real reason we are threatening Nigeria. So this, I think this is a parody account. Oh, okay, yeah, it's a parody account once I see that. But there's this quote that says that I would like to quote the late General Sonny Abacha: any insurgents or terrorist invasion that lasts more than 24 hours, a government or political official has a hand in it. 100%. 100%. Let me see. So again, I'm going to say, what's he going to do about that? Seems Nigeria president is fighting for his Nigeria, but it's never working. It's never a working state for all Nigeria. I mean, this is a big ridicule right now. Let's look at this story.
Nothing.
Oh,
What
good.
is just the Nigerian soldiers,
Yeah.
Sandra.
Yeah.
GMS. I was in the battalion
Okay.
and we were fighting Boko Haram, Sandra.
Okay.
We went to war.
So this allegedly, I would say, because I can't verify the person talking. So this is a military person that has served in that it's someone that has served in the Nigerian military system, and I guess it's trying to recount the stories.
I'm a left-handed person.
Okay.
So I'm a sniper. I was one of the best sniper.
Okay.
So I was shooting, no morale, nothing, no pay, no means of communication to my family. My father thought I was dead.
Oh.
I was fighting, I was shooting. One of our soldiers shot me, Sandra, on my ribs.
Oh my
Sandra.
God.
Shot me on my ribs. They said in Hausa, it means that I kill people too much. I was fighting, Sandra. They shot a woman and her daughter. I was trying to save her second child, Sandra. I was running. They shot me, Sandra. I was barely breathing. It takes the grace of God for me to survive.
No, I'm sorry. They shot you on purpose?
They shot me on purpose. They say I too they kill people. They said in Hausa,
I don't understand what that means. You truly kill people. What does that mean?
It means I kill Boko Haram too much, Sandra, because I was one of the best snipers, Sandra. I don't miss my shots. I'm a left-handed. I don't miss my shots. That's what they said. No morale, nothing. No pay. Sometimes. No pay, Sandra. We just fight. They need to investigate them, Sandra.
Did you retire did you retire?
Sandra, I resign.
Okay.
I wrote a letter and I resign. I don't want to do the job again.
I mean, how much do you want to say? I mean, it was already killed, almost killed. So, except he wants to just, die by suicide, that's when he's going to continue in the military.
I don't want to serve the land again. I don't want. It's really, really pathetic, Sandra, in that army. There's a lot of fraud things happening in the army, Sandra. I don't know. Seriously. Wow. They need to investigate the Nigerian army, Sandra. A lot of things. You see, when people are fighting, they're killing Boko Haram, Sandra, somebody from nowhere will just shoot and just kill the best shooter there.
Wow.
Just for him to die, because maybe they are gaining from there.
Again, I've heard a lot of stories, and I can't confirm if this is true or not, okay? I can't confirm if this is true or not. But I've had a lot of story about sabotage. In fact, just recently, you remember what happened in in Kwara State. Kwara State. They were like that. The military came to meet the vigilantes because the military have been messed up. They're not doing their job the way they should. Now communities are now having what we call more like these informal security, groups that would go in and try to defend the people. In Kwara State, the report was that the military came to meet the vigilantes. Now the military have abandoned them. They now have vigilantes. And they said the military came to meet them and said, we need your weapons to go and service them. And they collected all their weapons. And then you're going to hear that there are helicopters dropping people. And then they just open fire on the whole village. And someone is telling me that Trump is doing too much. No. How do you want to explain to me that Trump is doing too much when you have all of these stories come out? There have been a lot of stories also with what happened even during Jonathan's regime too, where how there were columnists, saboteurs in his government. Okay, so and this thing is, I'm telling you, it's in Kwara State. Remember what happened in Owo? Owo is a southwestern state. You think that you can actually go to your churches in Lagos and feel a little bit of, peace? It's only a matter of time. There's a map, the way they operate. They're not going to take over the country at once. But as this happens, you have all of this happening. Again, those hot spots, there's also rich resources there. So what happens is, in the name of religion, they send all these bandits saying that they're fighting for jihad. So they come in, they make life unbearable for them. Those guys move. Then what happens? You have those people that come and kind of excavate and take resources from the ground. So they sweep in. That's what's happening. So again, I'm saying, if you can't close your base and close your ranks here and guarantee security to those people, Trump has nothing to talk about. But if you keep saying that, and I said it then, I did a video when I said Tinubu does not just get it. It's on my channel. Tinubu doesn't just get it. You're saying that I'm a Muslim and my wife is a pastor is not a security strategy, because those people doing those atrocities, okay, they don't really care. We're not talking about you, Tinubu, as a person, because you're not a jihadist. But your guys in the north, they even see that as a perfect excuse for them to do whatever they want to do, because they're not gonna look at your president as a jihadist. So they're gonna keep doing whatever the hell they want to do, and they're getting territory, they're getting more space, they're getting more land, they're killing more people, and they're moving in. Why on earth do I need to care about how somebody that has maybe 10 cows or 50 cows care about how they feed them? It's not my business, because the government of Nigeria doesn't give an average poultry farmer land, or doesn't give an average piggery farmer pen to do their piggery. Why is it that if you want to actually rear a lot of all these herds, why don't you kind of form a community and buy something, buy a land, buy a grazing path, and do that? Why must the government provide for you guys? Why must you go in to destroy people's farm? And again, I'm saying, whoever is in charge of the security architecture of Nigeria has failed. Because all these economic reforms, if they're doing well, but you don't back it by security, you're going to be another El-Rufai, running from one party to another, because when it mattered most, you didn't care as much as people would see for the life of people that are being destroyed. No matter who those people are. They may not be politicians, they may just be normal individuals living their life under the weight of poverty, under the weight of penury, and serving their Jesus. And all you can give them, you're not giving them oil money, you're not giving them oil thing, you're not benefiting from any reforms. They just want to live their life in peace. They're not following after riches. They just want security. And once this is not a national emergency the way it should be treated, and you're giving excuses and say, oh, I'm a Muslim, but my wife is a pastor, that doesn't stop the next killing. So again, I'm aware that there's a lot of sabotage. So there's a theory that the guy that was relieved recently, and the reason he was relieved was that when he started telling them that he should shoot all these Islamists on sight, that was why they had to take him out. Okay, fine. Let's see what the next person does. But this has to be on the front and center of the presidency. You should have a directing. And I also gave ways to do that. I told you that there was a time that ISIS was rampaging the whole world. taking over territories and countries. And I told you what Trump did to destroy ISIS. Now you don't hear about ISIS. There may be other groups, but you don't hear about ISIS. Even no matter what, their power is even what you go to the source. So if there are politicians in your rank, if there are people in your rank that are trying to sabotage your government, I'm sorry. It's on you to ensure that they are exposed. It's on you to ensure that this nonsense stops. Since 2010. Since 2010, we've been facing this serious issue. What gives you the assurance that one day they don't come in and swap into major infrastructure in the country and destroy it? And again, when I see all those armor carriers, when I see all those stuffs, it's crazy that I don't think these are just normal Islamic terrorists. No, these are well-funded, internationally orchestrated terrorists. There was this story, let me see if I can get it for you. About one of these guys that was killed because it was actually exposing the evil work of these terrorist individuals. Let me see if I can get that. I'm going to talk about Femi Fani-Kayode because I hate it when people double speak. I mean, they've already come for him. Now it's going against Trump. I don't know why, but you can always say, oh, fine, I disagree with some of the things that Trump may want to do, but at the same time, you understand, I understand what's happening.
Guns are blazing to wipe out terrorists and save Christians. And I see that some Nigerians are celebrating. I know that a lot of Nigerians are in love with Trump. And in fact, many of them are saying that this doesn't mean that he wants to invade Nigeria, that he will just be quick and sweet. Because of the way he puts it in his tweet, he wrote in there that he's instructing the Department of War to prepare for action. He said it will be quick, it will be swift, it will be sweet. Personally, I am hoping that he doesn't follow suit. I'm really, really hoping that he won't actually do it. Let's hope so. Of course, I'm in support of stopping all aid. Like, seriously, why are we still collecting aid at this age? But history shows that help by invasion often makes things worse, not better. In 2001, when the US wanted to invade Afghanistan, they said at that time that it would be a quick, decisive military action to topple the Taliban and dismantle Al-Qaeda. It ended up being
20 years. 20 years. And I mean, they even left that place in disgrace. If you see that big armor carrier where you had all these men, and it was only men that was even rescued. But again, so I kind of agree with what she's saying in a way that the U.S., military industrial complex, that's what they call them, always look for where to spend their war money. Because when there's war, you know what happens? There's military supplies, there's logistics, some people are getting rich. That's what happens. But to balance that out, what Diola didn't talk about here is the fact that the war in Afghanistan, and even all of these troops around the world, when Trump came in, he told them that we no longer want to go around the world policing countries. And what happened? He started withdrawing the troop. So when Trump says it's going to be quick, fast, and easy, I think it means it's going to be quick, fast, and easy. Because he's not the kind of person that he's not even putting his troop in Israel. I mean, it's not as if they're not helping Israel, but he's not putting the Nigerian USA troops down in Israel. When he went into swooping into Iran to destroy whatever facility they have, allegedly, it was quick. Within days, the war between Israel and Iran was over. So again, you have to understand that don't just listen to the noise. Also listen to the signal. When Trump says quick, fast, and easy, I don't doubt that. Now, could there be some industrial military complex within the ranks of the United States military echelon that may want to make it to be perpetual? Yes. But again, looking at how Trump intervenes, he doesn't go in and just sit down there and then just dominate and then lose, because they're going to be losing all foot soldiers no matter how powerful they are too. These are lives that they will be put in. But the truth is this: who are these people causing this havoc, and what are you doing to it? That's the question. Who are those causing the havoc? What are you doing? I mean, for the past 14 years, we've not been able to say, this is the politician that did this. This is why he's in jail. But we can actually take Nnamdi Kanu and put him in jail for decades. So we need to put a balance there. But I can't agree that I don't want intervention. But when you don't do your own work, you open yourself to all of this nonsense.
2 decades of war with more than 200,000 people killed. When the US invaded Iraq to topple Saddam Hussein, they said that it would be a quick operation. They said it would be quick. Only for state institutions to collapse, huge civilian casualties, and years of insurgency. The death toll from that is estimated to be 150,000.
Again, that happened in 2003. What happened was when Trump came in. It was when Trump came in that he said, you know what, ISIS has to go down, because this was what led to ISIS. So Trump, in a way, when he talks about quick, fast, and easy, I believe it means that. And we could see that is resolved conflicts between so many countries. The recent one, I mean, you have the one with, is it Cambodia and Thailand? He's also helped to resolve issues with Kosovo and Serbia. He's tried to resolve issues. He's trying also working night and day to resolve issue between Israel and Gaza. That one I don't even know where they I don't even know what the hell is happening there right now, because and then Israel has also now they've started firing their missiles again, but it's trying. So again, it's gonna be false equivalency for you to compare that all of these wars that you're talking about was not started by Trump. And a lot of it was ended by Trump. So if Tinubu doesn't want Trump to come in, then secure lives. Not only in the north, secure lives in the southeast, and even in the urban area. Right now, we can't figure out security. After how many years independence? 65 or so. I mean, it's a shame. So,
and then the power vacuum created the condition for new terrorist groups to grow.
No, there won't be power vacuum. Nobody's taking Tinubu out. Trump wants to deal with Tinubu. And when I talk about deal, I'm not talking about disciplining him. I'm talking about he wants to have an economic deal. China is number one. China is USA number one's enemy. And you can't be causing up to China every day. They also want a piece of the pie. They want your resources. They want your rare earth minerals. They want all of those. So, I mean, it is what it is.
That's how ISIS started. In Libya, when the US removed Gaddafi, there was no more stable government.
Yeah, so Trump is not trying to remove Tinubu. It was Obama that did all of those nonsense. And he didn't have a plan to salvage the issue. That's not Trump. Again, I'm not carrying waters for Trump, but I'm just saying. It could be brash at times. It could talk like, I mean, they call a whole Nigeria a disgraced country. Like, I don't know. Why would they call Nigeria a disgraced country? It's crazy. But again, you can't be killing Christians and some Muslims. But the problem is that I understand the Muslim thing. If Islamists are killing Muslims, then what are you telling your people in the mosque? Because these people believe that they are Muslims too, that they're more of a cleaner stuff and they're doing jihad. So if they're not Muslims doing that, then who are those doing it? But again, why do they kill in the name of Allah or something? So, like, well, you have to let us understand what's happening here. I mean, okay, Trump should not come in, Trump should not swoop him, then stop the killing. Stop the killing. Stop the bombing. I still remember the 50 people that were killed in our war, right? In the last few years or so. To tomorrow, where's justice? Where is justice? Do you think those people, they just died like that? 50,000? Even if it's not up to 50,000, even if it's 10,000, even if it's 500. What are we talking about here? What are we even talking about? And this thing, like, there's no way, there's no path. Like, if I ask you today, okay, so what's the solution? Oh, we're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. Okay, so then what happens? More people get killed. And they're moving into the Southwest now. I'm scared. They're moving to Southwest. They're in Kwara State already. I'm in dominatory force in Kwara already. So let's see what happens. I'm not unaware that US also is interested in our resources. Yes. So you gotta be smart about it. You gotta know what you need to do. This is one of the major litmus tests of Tinubu. He's been ignoring this problem, and I told him I told him, I did a video. I said, guy, they're going to come and meet you. They're going to hit you on this front. Immediately when they know I started, oh, Christian genocide, I knew it was already, this is time for war. They're going to come in. And he's been ignoring Trump all this while. But Trump didn't ignore him, right? Trump freaking did not ignore him. He's been ignoring Trump. He's been ignoring Trump all this while. And TINUBU is very smart. Okay, I give it to him. He's a very smart politician. But you have to understand what goes around comes around. There are also smart politicians, not just in Nigeria, around the world. This issue is a direct response also to part of the killings, part of Dangote trying to threaten global institutions, which I'm loving it, to be honest with you. I'm loving that Dangote is taking charge, even though, I mean, it's a mafia, but all politicians, what have they done? Where's the refinery? They've not even built anything that is substantial.
Libya fractured into rival militias and became a hub for smuggling and violence. Even the Somalia mission in the 90s, when the US went there, they called it Operation Restore Hope. It started out as a humanitarian mission to provide famine relief amid a civil war. In fact, they said it would take 30 to 45 minutes. But guys, it soon evolved into a more aggressive state building and counterterrorism effort, which eventually led to the disastrous Battle of Mogadishu in October of 1993. And the thing is, guys, Nigeria has a lot of natural resources. We have oil, we have gold, we have a lot of things that some people
And we're still suffering.
want. I'm just saying,
No,
personally,
that's true. They want it. So you've got to cover your own reign. You have to know what you're doing as a country, as a people. Because once they say that if there is no thief inside, there will be no thief outside. The past coup attempt, to me, I still believe that thing is more of subsidy removal-ish. Yeah. Those people stealing trillions of naira every month, they're being displaced. They need money.
I believe that nobody knows your house like you do. And so I think that the best solution is for the Nigerian government itself to take care of business and tackle insecurity.
Which they've not done. Like, they've not done that for how many years now? I mean, that's the best. Everybody knows that that's the best. The best solution as a man is for you to control your home. But when you don't control your home, the policeman comes and take you out or take your kids out. Or when you don't train your child and they become a nuisance in the society, that's why we build prisons. I mean, the best solution is that they take care of, insecurity, take care of business and all that. But it's not been working, right? Since 2010, when the first bomb erupted.
We've been shouting about this now for God knows how long.
Exactly.
It's more than a decade.
So if we're doing the same thing, the same time, the same way, then what happens is that somebody has to come and do things differently. And Trump, when he comes in, he does things differently, and everybody shouts. And maybe something will come out of it. Maybe something will not come out of it. I'm not putting all my hope on that. I'm just saying that okay, we've been doing all of this for a whole while. Let's try something else. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But again, they're not gonna see. They're not going to bring people in here and then expose their soldiers to ridiculous stuff. But the Christians in the north, they're also humans. Their life also matters. The Muslims in the north also that are being killed, that are being caught in this crossfire, their life also matters.
That we've been talking about insecurity in Nigeria. We are the ones that know the sponsors, the people that are financed.
We know the sponsors, but they're still killing people, and they're moving and they're expanding. And then there are a lot of jihadists in the military too. So what are we doing to root them out? Dubai doesn't play with their security. Dubai. If you go and try and bomb somewhere in Dubai, they're going to carry you before it's night. So what are these emirs doing? In fact, again, what are all these traditional rulers? We need to rewrite their JDs. What are they doing? Are they securing their homeland? I mean, what are they doing? Why can't you call all these people to order?
Seeing these operations, that is where to start. Because if we really want to take care of the bandits, if we want to take care of the armed Fulani herdsmen, if we want to take care of Boko Haram or the kidnappers, all these groups, especially in northern Nigeria, we can do it. We can. It's just a matter of do we want to? Because I don't understand.
Exactly. So if you don't want to, somebody that wants to, that sees that there are resources here, that sees that you guys are causing up to China and China is their enemy. See, the world is evil. Don't even trade. If Jesus said it. But it says that, you know what, I've overcome the world. Like, you have to live with that reality. Don't always sit down and think that, oh, everything's going to be fine. You're going to be actively intentional about doing that. So the same way TINUBU is intentional about reforms, which I believe in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years, we're going to start seeing some benefits, in my own opinion. You've got to be more intentional about security. Not, I mean, Muslim, my wife is a pastor, strategy. There is no issue. There is religious intolerance. They've beheaded people doing their morning cry. They've killed people. They burnt people. And again, there's an irate, maybe in the north or so, Muslims that support this. Because if you talk against any of their emirs or talk against Muhammad, you're dead before dawn. So what are we talking about? If you have a group of people that love you need to now start looking at it. What is the source? What is the foundation? What is the genesis of all this thing that is happening? How can we start rewriting the old story? What are the orientation that we need to give our people? Because this is not the orientation that those Muslims in Dubai have. Even Saudi that you go to, they don't have. They treat insecurity like a menace. But here, you want to do too much. You want to kill people in the name of somebody that you don't even know.
And why wait for Trump to... I'm tired. Meanwhile, I'm curious, can anybody explain why you think he would use the word disgrace?
Is it not? Is that not why you're in the United States? Is that not why most of people are getting out? Again, I don't like that word. It's painful. I mean, it's called us worst name. I mean, it called us the SO country. SH or so. I mean, it's called us names. That's how it talks. If you don't want to be a disgraced place where people go out and then at the end of the day, you're messed up, then do something about it. I don't like the word. It's colorful, but again...
country, because he said that we may very well go into that now disgraced country.
So that's what it does. It goes to the extreme. It's not saying it's going to commit foot on the ground, but it's going to say we're looking at it. 50,000 Christians, even if it's 1,000 Christians killed. This is what happens. This is what happens. Christians in whatever country. And again, they believe that if you're a Christian, that you should be second citizens to the Muslims, because you are bound to be a slave or to be paying them certain tax. Like, what the hell in 2025? 2025. So you have to be aware that this threat is real.
Like, disgraced as how? And you want to say the country you refer to as disgraced?
Dollar or whatever. You're doing a podcast every day and you allude to the fact that, yeah, the country is not well run. So is it the name that is painful? Again, I saw the name, I was like, I shouldn't have said that. But when you look at what's happening, look at the governors, look at the corruption, look at all of those stuff that is happening every day. Like, guy, it is. They've disgraced the country. These politicians have disgraced the country. There's no missing of word about that. Just a few days ago, this anchor in Arise TV died. Why? Because of bandits, armed robbers, though. Somebody that said, oh, I love Nigeria. I want to give my best to Nigeria. She could have left the country. The father said, I told her, get out of this country. I'm going to move you back to the... Like, oh, I love Nigeria. I want to give my life to Nigeria. I'm going to give everything to Nigeria. Oh, I love this whole country. Boom, overnight. Armed robbers came in. Boom, jumped. Before you know it, she's gone. So you're saying Trump saying disgraced country is affecting your ego? It is the politicians that have disgraced the country, not Trump. Because we wouldn't say that about other countries that are working, though they may have their challenges. We have our challenges. But over the years, look at what happened. 8 years of Buhari. Is that not disgrace? 3 months to the end of your district, you started collecting all the Naira in the name of new Naira notes. People that were suffering already, you took all their monies, locked it into keys. Now we now know that the guy that was in charge of that new Naira had 750 mansions he was building in Abuja. Is that not a disgraced country? Is that not even like, shouldn't you take that guy, apart from even taking him to prison, you need to test his head because he's already mad. You're stealing 750 building with government funds? Dude!
So Trump says...
Okay, so that's it about that. I'm gonna stop here today. Thanks for watching, guys. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I'll try and see if I can come back later on in the night today and possibly just post this also on my long form. I'm sorry for the shorts. I might just need to change my platform and so that my short stream can also go live simultaneously. I'm also trying to also work on multi-streaming where I'll be live on Facebook. There's a lot of traction that's happening on Facebook, on TikTok, and all that. I'm working to expand the stream such that I can actually go live simultaneously on Instagram, Facebook, um Twitch, Kick, and all of those other channels, looking for the best platform that I can use. But for now, I'm still gonna just stick to these and just come online when I want to. Thanks for watching, and if you've not subscribed to this channel, please, it's gonna help us a lot. I just want to grow it to at least get to the 500. 500 is the minimum before any of this starts to even bring me anything. But again, no compulsion there. If you feel like you want to subscribe, please do subscribe. If you don't and you've just tuned in to hear what I have to say, I'm so grateful. I really appreciate your support. Thanks so much and have a good day.